Welcome on the cosmic atom. Let us shatter the quiet once and for all. You spend your life waiting. You wait for Monday to pass, for Friday to come, for your commitments to expire, for the economy to improve, for your kids to grow up, for someone to admire you, request a raise, for the storm to pass, for the holidays, come for life, somehow, to give you permission to start living. And while you wait, life fades away. The issue isn't a lack of time. The trouble is that you give it away without knowing it. You abandon it in routines that don't satisfy you at work, in obligations that exhaust you. They sold you the illusion that happiness would come later, that it is now time to make sacrifices, that you must first fight and then live, that everything nice is coming to an end. What if the end never comes? The greatest deception they have sold you is that freedom is just for the elderly, for 65-year-olds, for when you run out of energy, desire, or time, and your body begins to deteriorate, when the world no longer notices you, when your aspirations have been replaced with medications, doctor's visits, and a meager pension. Would you truly want to wait till then? Something within you is screaming. You don't say it out, but you experience it every day. The dreary sensation that something is missing, that feeling that you're spending your life for a promise that no one can keep. A paradise, and no, you're not alone. Most of them are stuck in the same cycle. They follow a model that is no longer effective, a script authored by others, a road that is followed from generation to generation as if it were the only way. Study, work, get married, buy a mortgage, work more, say nothing, endure, and finally, retire. And if anything remains of you, live. But here's the issue. The future isn't assured. Waiting is a slow way to die. Psychology is clear on this. The human brain is hardwired for survival, not enjoyment. That is why it is always anticipating threats, deferring joys, and pursuing stability, even at the expense of its own well-being. In the meanwhile, your mind becomes a gilded prison. You're alive but not awake. You move but do not progress. You breathe, but you do not live. What's the most alarming thing? You become used to it. You've chosen resignation as your sanctuary. You've mistaken security and meaning. You have accepted that your time is less valuable than your income. You assumed that being responsible meant giving up. And worst of all, do you believe it is too late to correct a lie? It's not too late. What occurs is that it's frightening because genuinely living involves breaking systems, doubting the absolute, ceasing following society's clock and beginning to listen to your own. Your rhythm, passions, and voids. But of course, it is not what they instructed you to do. They told you that becoming an adult included sacrifice, that developing was about endurance, and that the appropriate thing to do was to follow the system, obey, and remain silent. Your desires, forget your dreams. So here you are, meeting everyone's expectations but your own. How long? Because this is the question no one wants to ask. What if your fantasy retirement never happens? What if, when you finally have time, you are no longer in good health? What if, when you finally go to slumber, you don't recognize yourself? We live deferring joy, rest, love, travel, art, and danger as if life had a trial mode and a final mode, as if there was a second chance, as if the present moment didn't count. However, the present moment is the sole reality. The future is a supposition, and the past is a shadow. Pay close attention. No one will come and give you permission to live. Nobody will say, that's it. Now, yes, this is the right time, because that moment does not exist. Life has no pauses, no previous announcements, and no assurances. It just has moments, and you're letting them slip away. Do you realize how many talents have been extinguished because of fear? How many tales remain unwritten? How many paintings remain unpainted? How many songs has Jung composed? How many times I adore you remains unspoken? How many passions are undiscovered? All because you keep waiting for the ideal time. Meanwhile, the clock doesn't stop. Every passing minute is lost forever. Every chance you miss does not come back. And the more you wait, the further you become from yourself. Because the future you so desperately want is a trap, an illusion, an excuse masquerading as a plan. You must fight against the autopilot, the hollow routine, and the notion that happiness must be earned like a prize. Happiness is not earned. It is being constructed one day at a time, decision by decision, act by act. And that does not imply abandoning everything and migrating to an island. It's not about escape fantasies. It is about restoring control, making intentional decisions about what you do with your time, who you give it to, what you let into your life, what you value, and what you let die. Perhaps you're unable to change jobs right now. Perhaps you cannot tour the globe, but you can do one thing. Stop anesthetizing yourself. Stop stifling your voice. Stop neglecting the part of you that yearns for something greater. Begin by giving yourself space. Ask yourself what you desire, and recall what motivated you before you were fearful. Reconnect with what makes you feel alive. Allow yourself to relax. Play, laugh, and love unconditionally. That, too, is revolutionary, since in a culture that values sacrifice, the true rebellion is to enjoy. It is to drink coffee without guilt. It is to say no to things that do not feed you. It's to spend time with your children, friends, and yourself. It is to regain the time you gave up in the name of hurry. Imposition, normality. Freedom does not begin at 65. It begins when you decide you won't wait any longer. It begins with the realization that the moment is all you have, that you're not promised to live to old age, and that you are under no duty to follow the route others have paved for you. You have the option to quit, breathe, turn, start anew. And certainly, they will tell you that you are insane, irresponsible, and that you cannot live that way. But they say it out of dread, irritation, and discomfort at witnessing you accomplish things they would never dare to do. Do not listen to them. Pay attention to your inner voice. You have the right to lead a life that feels like your own. You have the right to not wait. You have the right to make errors, to investigate, change your mind. You have the right not to have everything figured out, not having a strategy for improvising, because in the end, nobody remembers how you paid your bills. Nobody commends you for breaking your back in the sake of stability. What remains? The only memories you have are of yourself, fully, utterly vivid. And if you have to fail, let it be because you were loyal to yourself rather than because you followed your fear. Look about you. Most humans are alive, but just physiologically, since they breathe, move, and produce. But they do not feel. They do not listen to themselves. They do not ask themselves questions. They only repeat. You cannot afford it. Not you. If you're viewing this, it means you have a crack, a doubt, an echo, something that doesn't fit, or anything that wants to get out. Do not disregard it. That pain is the beginning of change. That uneasiness is the truth pounding on your door. Do not keep delaying. Don't keep saying, when I have time. We do not have time. It is taken and wasted. Every second is a decision. Happiness isn't a destination. It's a method to walk. The moment to start is now. There's an even more subtle trap than delaying happiness. Changing your identity into a role? Yes, a role. Not a person. Not a genuine tale, just a segment. You play every day because you feel that is what you are supposed to be. You are the responsible employee, the outstanding kid, the selfless parent, the dependable spouse, the accessible friend, and the appropriate citizen. You become a collection of functions. And inside that masquerade, your genuine personality begins to fade. Because of course the system celebrates that. It applauds you for not questioning, but also for not interrupting the pattern of doing what is expected. That you do not create suffering. that you do not disrupt the mechanism and do so because you wish to fit in. You want to belong. Because they've been telling you for years that maturing equals betraying yourself. But growing isn't. Maturing does not mean putting your soul on hold while you keep your persona. How many times have you stated, "I'm fine," knowing you aren't? How often have you smiled out of obligation? How many times have you behaved to avoid disappointment? You become accustomed to it in life. Being a theater, the most crucial thing is that no one notices. You are exhausted, bewildered, and fed up. However, staying in character comes at a high cost. You lose spontaneity, you lose curiosity, and you lose genuine connection. And worst of all, when no one is looking, you glance in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. That is the result of delaying your independence. You don't just waste time, you lose your identity. Do you know what is the most terrible aspect of this? That we believe we are safeguarding others. That if we minimize ourselves a bit, remain quiet, and adjust, everything will be well. But this is a falsehood. When you're not feeling well, nothing is all right. And I'm not saying this for ego. I say it with emotional honesty. Because when you live a life-filled life, everything you touch becomes contaminated. Your spouse notices it. Your children absorb it. Your buddies can feel it. Your body shouts it. Stress, worry, and sleeplessness. Chronic weariness is not a system breakdown. These are messages. These are alarms. And yet, we switch them off with medications, entertainment, and diversions, all to avoid gazing directly into the abyss. That existence that bears no resemblance to the one you imagined when you were still daring to dream. And if this makes you uncomfortable, it's a good thing. Because suffering marks the beginning of transformation. You have to quit living on autopilot. You must quit rationalizing every choice out of fear of anarchy. Because there is some news. The turmoil is already present. It is in your routine that does not satisfy you on your schedule. That leaves no room for you on your weekends, which are primarily used to recuperate from the week. In that sense of, is this all that quietly follows you? It is not about ruining your life. It is not about running to the desert. It's about taking intentional pauses, reclaiming your inner voice that has been muted for far too long, and asking yourself questions without fear. Who would you be if you didn't need to answer to anyone? And no, it is not selfishness. It is honesty. Because if you don't make your own choices, no one will. You have the option of redrawing your route if you decide to change course halfway through. To say this no longer serves me, and you do not need to defend it with tears or drama. It's enough that it applies to you. We were taught to preserve institutions and not to listen to ourselves. That's why it hurts so much to discover you've spent your life trying to satisfy everyone except yourself. However, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you've felt it, there's no turning back. You only get one life. There is no beta version. It has no backup copies. And every day you waste does not freeze, wait for you, or recover. So, if you're going to invest energy, make it something that symbolizes you. If you're going to devote your time, choose individuals who will nourish you. And if you're going to make sacrifices, make sure they're worthwhile for you, not simply others. Because this is the truth. No one wants to hear about a life spent only for the purpose of meeting expectations. And living partly seems like dying while awake. And do you know what the greatest danger is with all of this? Can you get accustomed to it? Yes. Disconnection is something you can normalize. You may accept things as they are. You may anesthetize your soul till it is no longer painful not to live. And it is something you cannot accept. You're not here to survive Monday through Friday. You're not here to fill productivity quotas. You're not here to be without a soul. You came here to have an experience, to feel, make errors, and start anew, to find what motivates you, not what binds you. You came here to have a meaningful life, not merely to follow the directions. So let me be clear. You do not owe yourself a safe existence. You owe it to yourself to live your own life. Nobody will create it for you. Do it now, without promises, authorization, or certainty. If you don't do it, no one else will. Because the alternative is to observe life from the outside as a spectator. And you were born to be the protagonist and the postponer. Today is the beginning of the rest. And now that you've come this far, I want you to stop for a bit. Do not scroll. Do not glance at the clock. Do not become distracted. Please listen to this, because this might alter everything. Consider the last time you performed something for yourself without regard for its usefulness, productivity, or approval from others. Not to show off, not to excuse it, just because. Simply because it made you feel alive. Most people can't answer it without feeling a knot in their chest. And do you understand why? Because you were trained to be successful, but not to find serenity, to compete, but not to feel, to create objectives, but not meaning. Here's the ultimate conundrum. You don't have to alter everything in your life to start living it. You do not need to sell your belongings, leave your job, or flee from everything. It's not about running away. It is about making alternative choices. It's about questioning yourself every day, with every move, if it brings you closer to or further away from yourself. Sometimes a timely no is sufficient. Sometimes I go for a stroll without my phone. Sometimes a discourse occurs without masks. Sometimes you just have to write what you're feeling without filters. You do not need an external revolution. The most important revolution begins from inside. Because, in the end, what will you carry with you? Your CV, paid bills, and your whole calendar number. You will take what you experience deeply, the immortal seconds, the individuals who touched your spirit, and the moments you were yourself without apology. That depends on you. So here's a proposition. Let this be the first day of the rest of your life. Seriously, stop staring at the calendar and waiting for life to resume after all this. Because it will not start. It has already begun. The only thing missing is you. And if you've made it this far, I'd want to extend you a completely different invitation. I'm not asking you to subscribe just for the sake of doing so. If you felt anything today, or if something in this movie impacted you, you may have harmed yourself or opened your eyes. If you believe this message was for you, please join. Because this channel isn't meant to amuse. It's designed to awaken. If you wish to leave a quiet message, please remark below this text. I'm not going to wait any longer. There's no background or explanation, just that. So those who know will understand, while others who don't will begin to wonder. And now, yes, breathe, get up, do something unusual today, even if it is tiny. Remember that this time does not wait for you. Life does not wait for you. You are the only one who is still on pause. But today, correct? This may be the day. Everything changes. The world does not need a more efficient version of you. It needs a more vibrant, personalized version. Freer, more you. See you in the future video. Or maybe not. Perhaps we will cross paths in real life when no one is faking. Where we just live. Until then, do not get lost. Looking for a wonderful future. Because what you're avoiding looking at might occasionally be true to life. Turn off wait mode. See you in the present. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, You not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.